Hi everyone, welcome to Hedgehog Hollow. Now today I'm sharing some of my top tricks and tips that are frequently asked about HTV or heat transfer vinyl. Now you know all those t-shirts we love to see with different colors and things like that on? Well, you have to be able to layer HTV, and there is definitely an art to doing it. So I'm going to be sharing that today to create a gorgeous bag with this new scaly vinyl or HTV from Cricut. So let's get started. So as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about HTV, and that stands for heat transfer vinyl. So some people might call it heat vinyl, you might have called it all sorts of different things, but just to clarify, so it's HTV or heat transfer vinyl. Cricut call it iron-on, so if you're looking for it in stores, you're looking for Cricut iron-on, not permanent vinyl. So the thing I'm going to be taking is this new circle vinyl, or HTV, a circle iron-on I should actually call it, from Cricut. Now I've pre-cut a square, which is the right size for my project. I'm not showing you the rest of the project yet because I don't want to spoil the surprise, but you'll see in a minute why I've done this. So I've cut this to the required size of my project, and I'll show you sizing once we've done the fun part. Now there is a Cricut online guide as to what heat you want to set your EasyPress to. Now you can use a heat press, you can use an EasyPress, you can really use anything that has a consistent heat and temperature. I'm using my EasyPress 9x9. It's the pink limited edition. Of course, you knew it was going to be the pink one. It's set to 330 degrees for 30 seconds. And the reason I found that is I go online to the Cricut Heat Guide. You can see it on your screen right now. You just set your what you're using. You set the material that you're working on, and you tell it whether you're using a towel or the EasyPress mat. And you can see under here I have the new spotty EasyPress mat, and it tells me that I want 330 degrees for 30 seconds. Now it says to preheat for 5 seconds. I have to admit I don't preheat, and here's the reason why. I like a little bit of flexibility. If I preheat, my surface is hot, which can be great, but it means that I don't get as much flexibility in where to put my design. Now there is a tip I have for you if you really want to preheat, is take your mat like this, put your surface wherever you want it, and grab yourself some of that infusible ink tape. Now mine just sits up here in this cute little Scotch tape holder, and the reason I'm using this is because it is heat resistant tape. It's not going to be affected by the fact I'm putting lots of heat on it, and I'm just going to take a little bit and tape it at the top. So then I now create myself a little hinge. So if you really want to do this part of the process, and I've never had any issues not doing it, but I know some people do prefer, then you can just take your EasyPress, whoops, and we can put it on and preheat just like this. It says 5 seconds, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we lift off, and then we take our hinge, and our HTV is going to be in exactly the same spot. You see how easy that was? So there's a top tip. And then I'm just going to take my EasyPress. I'm actually going to tile this just because it's a larger piece and I'm not using my larger EasyPress. And we press our C button, it will start counting down for me. So it's going to beep when it is done. So let's just do some tiling. I'm probably going to do about 3 to 4 tiles on this to get it all done. And so once you've pressed all over, I like to then remove my mat. And the reason we use this mat over a towel is because it has some reflective layers in it. So you're going to get a better heat transfer. It's quicker. If you're using a towel, you're going to have a longer heat time. And the mats come in different sizes depending on the EasyPress you're using. But just remove it out, you'll find your item cools quicker. And this is a warm to cold peel. Again, that tells you that in there. It tells you the sandwich, it tells you everything you need to know. Because the reason is if I peeled this off straight away, everything's not going to stick because that glue has to melt, it has to adhere to my surface, and then it has to solidify again. So you're just waiting for that process to occur. I should also mention, I am working on one of the Cricut infusible ink bags over here. This little corner doesn't look like it got enough heat. So again, just check it all out before you're ready. And what I'm going to do is just a little tip for you. So you can take it, really push it into that corner, pull your seam out, and then press your C. So as I mentioned, I'm using an infusible ink bag. You can use anything. You can use cotton, you can use silk. You can really put HTV onto any surface. And the infusible ink totes are great. They come from Cricut. And you could also use infusible ink, of course, on the other side or as part of your design. You know, you could mix and match between HTV and your infusible ink. If you use glitter HTV, your infusible ink will also stick to that because it contains some polyester in it. So again, there's some fun things you can do. We do have a tutorial on the channel. You can check that out. If you are not already subscribed, make sure you've hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We have daily tutorials. And there is also a Cricut playlist, so you can go and check that out. And if there's something you want to know how to do with your Cricut or your EasyPress, leave me a comment and let me know. So this is my layer 1. It's still a little bit hot just because I re-put it back on my iron. But then we're going to, in a second, we're going to peel this back and we're going to add our next design on. So let's talk about that. So this is my next piece I'm going to add on. We're going to layer this over the top of our HTV. It's going to look super, super cool. This is why I cut my square to that size, because I just cut basically halfway into this ridge here was the size that I took my square to be underneath for my scales, and then my scales are going to shine through. Now HTV is also on a slightly sticky piece, so when you weed it, which is the idea of once you've cut, you're then going to pull out all of the residual HTV that you don't need. You end up with this design, and all designs you do with HTV, you want to hit that mirror button. Cricut Design Space will remind you, but of course if you're using a silhouette or a different machine, just remember you need to hit that mirror button. But Cricut will remind you to do that just in case you've forgotten. So that's how we're going to add this on top. This is with navy blue iron on. So I'm going to start peeling now from my corner. Let's find a corner that will come away nice and easily. This one looks like it's ready. Now look how cool this is. This is super, super cool. And if you start to get somewhere and you know your HTV hasn't stuck, just lay it back down and repress it. It will be absolutely fine to do that. So far so good. I'm loving how this looks. I think it looks like a disco ball. I'm sure the cameras are all going crazy with all the lights around me. But look how well that has adhered on. And that is now permanent. You can wash this, you can dry it, you can do, you know, anything you want to do. It feels like there's something inside. A little plastic tag, so we'll remove that out too. Okay, now let's add on our layer. So this is the really important part. So we're going to lay this back down on here. Same settings I already checked. I'm going to take this. Again, you could do the trick I just showed you with the idea of making a hinge if you wanted to, but I'm just going to adhere mine straight down. Now I'm on a little bit of a wonk, so let's try that again. And you can see that this is the great thing about the tackiness, is it will hold in place, but it also just means sometimes a little bit harder to align, but I do like the tacky overall, so I would not trade out my tackiness. All right, so you can see we are covered all the way around. Isn't this just going to look awesome with those scales underneath our mermaid? I'm so excited to have this. I think Tilly has already claimed it, but maybe Mum wants it. All right, so we're ready to go again. We're going to do the same thing again. Grab your EasyPress, pop it on, press your C button, and I'm going to do it again. I'm going to pull those seams out just to get in these corners down here. I apply a light pressure. I don't know. I feel like it makes a difference. And then I'm going to show you the big reveal. So again, I'm just going to let this cool for a second, and I wanted to also point out, I remembered that I still left my tape on that first layer. So when you do that, if you do that, just do what I did. Just pull it out, wait for the hinge, and then you can go and do it. The heat resistant tape will actually stop the heat from permeating through so much. So you just want to make sure you've touched it again afterwards. All right, so we are nearly cool. Again, don't forget to hit subscribe. We have so many fun tutorials coming. We've got the Cricut Joy, if you didn't see. We went from out the box to first cut in a live video. It was so easy. Go check it out. We've got a Cricut Joy cart coming up. We've got all sorts of gorgeous projects, and we're also part of Tanner's Spring Summit. So this is not quite ready. Let's see. I'm just going to repress these couple of corners just. And yes, I know I don't have my heat mat underneath, but I just want to make sure that they are really solidly pressed. All right, are we ready for the fun reveal? I love this part. This is the best part of doing HTV. So I already started this corner. Again, if anything doesn't, set the first time, just go back, pop this back down and re-iron it. I'm just peeling across. Look at this. This is so cool. So you can layer lots of different colors and types of HTV. You can see here I've got holographic with regular over it. So just be slow and gentle. You don't need to rip it off too fast, but you don't need to be too delicate either. Look how cool this looks. Isn't that just awesome with the holographic underneath? And then you've got the navy blue on top. It really looks like an under the sea mermaid. So I think we need to really give it to our recipient, Tilly. All right, look what Mummy made. It's a new school bag.
You got me in the school bag.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you learned how to layer HTV. Tilly's off to enjoy her new school bag and my cat Scotch tape dispenser. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, hit join as well. All the supplies I used are linked underneath too, and I'll see you again tomorrow at another tip, trick, tutorial, or maybe something a little bit different. We'll see you then. Bye. Say bye, Tilly.